Hello everyone, this is Adam from Adam P Reviews and I'm here to bring you another book review today. I'm really sorry I haven't done one of these for a while. It's obviously been Christmas and my birthday was last week, so I've been really busy with that. I've also been really busy with my uni work, currently in my last year, and I've been writing my dissertation, which is based on the Atlantic Charter and Roosevelt and Churchill after World War II. So as you can tell, it's all interesting stuff and it's been keeping me really busy. But I thought I'd bring you a kind of quick review today on a really famous book. And I have to admit, I didn't actually read this book. I listened to it as an audio book because it is an absolute mammoth of a book. I think it has about 1,100 pages, which would take me forever to read. And to be honest, I wasn't that bothered about reading it. I had a lot of other books that I wanted to read first. But yeah, as I got it as a free credit on Audible, I decided, oh well, you know, walking to uni and back and walking to work and back, it'd be something to listen to, and it's something I can say I've read. Okay, so what is this mystery book? Well, the book is The Pillars of the Earth by Ken Follett. I'm sure many of you have heard of this book or probably even read it. It's a really famous book. It was adapted into a TV series on Channel 4 in Britain. I think one of the reasons I kind of wanted to listen to this book and chose it as my free download was the fact that the guy who plays Jack in the novel plays the Marius in the Les Miserables film that's just come out, and I think that kind of triggered my mind to think, oh yeah, I should read it. So yeah, so here's my review. Okay, so the book's based in the 12th century, basically around the building of a cathedral in Kingsbridge, which I think is a fictional town based in the south of England. The book has a lot of intricate plots and they all seem to connect together. The most important plots and the most repetitive and sort of apparent throughout the book were those of Tom Builder, Aliana, William Hamley and Prior Philip. Tom Builder, as his name suggests, is a builder who has always had the dream of building a cathedral. Unluckily for Tom and his family, they've kind of fallen on hard times and Tom can't find work and they're forced to tramp the roads looking for a job or looking for any building sites that Tom can work on. Eventually Tom ends up in Kingsbridge after the death of his wife, and he finds that the cathedral there needs rebuilding, but the new prior Philip doesn't have the wages or the money to build one at the moment. But luckily for Tom and not so luckily for Prior Philip, the cathedral is mysteriously burnt down. So Tom ends up becoming a master builder and starts his dream of building a cathedral in the name of his recently deceased wife Agnes. Aliana is the daughter of the Earl of Shiring. Aliana is proposed to marry William Hamley, who is the son of a local landlord, but because of his arrogance and cockiness and overconfidence, Aliana refuses to marry him. This causes the Hamleys to absolutely hate and resent Aliana's father, especially William's mother. And when the Hamleys find out that Aliana's father is part of a conspiracy to overthrow King Stephen, they jump on that opportunity to gain their revenge and to make the name of Hamley a name to be reckoned with in the local area and the whole south of England. William manages to sneak into the Earl's castle, which is funnily enough called Earl's Castle, with a few men, and manages to overtake the castle, keeping the drawbridge open and letting in all of his knights, and captures Aliana's father. The Earl is trialled as a traitor and is locked up in a dungeon, and King Stephen awards the Hamleys the earldom of Shiring and gives them the Earl's Old Castle at Earl's Castle. When William goes to reclaim his prize, he finds that Aliana and her younger brother William are still living in the castle, and violently rapes Aliana and throws her out of the castle, thinking that that's the last they've ever seen of the woman who spurned his advances and caused the massive embarrassment to the Hamley family. However, Aliana has a streak of her father in her and is determined not to let the Hamleys beat her and wants to get her revenge on William. Does this by becoming a rich wool merchant and manages to pay for Richard to become a squire and eventually a knight, and Richard makes a really good name for himself in King Stephen's army and is in contention for the earldom of Shiring. And the final sort of plot in the story is that of Prior Philip. Prior Philip is the prior of a small cell in the forest called the Monastery of St John in the Forest. I think it might be something else, but it's along those lines. Philip is quite young to be a prior, but because of his belief in hard work and that hard work gains reward, he runs his cell really efficiently and effectively. After the death of the Prior of Kingsbridge, Philip sees himself being put into the election to become prior. Eventually he gets the help of Warren Bygod, who is the sort of Archdeacon of Kingsbridge, which is the one below Bishop. Warren agrees to help Philip become prior if Philip will help Warren become bishop, and Philip gives his consent and his help to Warren, saying that when the bishop dies he'll support Warren becoming bishop. What Philip doesn't know is that Warren Bygod already knows the bishop is dead and is thus made bishop straight away, sort of getting one over on Philip. Philip vows to never be manhandled by Warren or anyone else again, and this kind of has a lot of dire consequences on the church and cathedral of Kingsbridge and the building of the cathedral. Well, I know this book is, and this review is sort of short, and I really hope that I get the sort of intricacies and the complexity of the story across to you as the kind of listener and reader. But looking at the book and the size of it, I mean, it's an absolute mammoth book, and it's like really, really dense. And I'd suggest that, like, if you are interested in it, you should definitely read the book, because the intricacies are a lot more subtle than what I've got across here. What I liked about the book was that I think Follett did a really great job of basing it and making it seem realistic in its context, so like in the 12th century. I like the fact that towards the end of the book, Follett added in sort of historical events. Well, actually, yeah, well, throughout the book he added in historical events like the sinking of the White Ship at the start of the novel, and then towards the end there was the Thomas Becket murder and the sort of the reaction that had with King Henry II, and how it all kind of tied into the story, because obviously a lot of the story was based on sort of whether religion had sway or could be answered to by the king, or whether the king could only be answered to by God. So it sort of kind of had those themes all the way through, and I think it was written really, really well. The one thing I didn't like was that there seemed to be a lot of repetition in the book, especially when it came to William Hamley and sabotaging the cathedral building in Kingsbridge. You just sort of got the feeling that, like, whenever it was going really well, you just thought, oh well, we could just go on like this. They kind of had the difficulties and setbacks, but it was just sort of like every time it was just another one and another one. You just got the feeling of, when is this book going to end? Like, when is it just going to finish, or when is it the happy ending going to come? And I suppose some people will probably like that, but for me, listening to it on a 48-hour audiobook, it just got a bit tiresome. Nevertheless, I did really enjoy the book and the audiobook. I think the sort of sequel to the book, The World Without End, I would probably, I'd probably audiobook it again. I don't think I'd read it, and I don't plan on doing it anytime soon. I actually noticed last night on telly that the series is on telly now, and it was a penultimate episode, so I'd missed like nearly the entire series, which was a bit annoying. But anyway, if I was going to suggest this book to anyone, I'd say definitely if you're a fan of historical fiction, or if you've read any of Follett's other books like The Winter of the World or The Fall of Giants, which are kind of more based in the World War II, World War I times, or of course if you like other historical fiction writers. I specifically say C.J. Sampson in his book Dissolution, which is sort of based in and around a monastery as well, so it's the same type of feel, but that's more of like a murder mystery novel than a hardcore sort of fictional book. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed my video. If you'd like to see more reviews, you could check out my page and look at my other reviews at Adam P Reviews. You could check out my blog, which is adam-p-reviews.blogspot.co.uk for other written reviews of books. There's all sorts on there now. I've got a lot of fantasy on there, historical fiction, sci-fi, so yeah, just check them out. And yeah, please remember to comment, rate and subscribe. I hope you really enjoyed the video, and I hope to bring you a few more. Thanks a lot guys.